Aloha, friends and neighbors. Welcome to show 873. 873 weeks I've served you. What the heck am I doing here? Trying to introduce you enlightened ones, and you are very special. Whether you know it or not, by viewing this show and opening your mind to the ancient science, proves you're very special people. And we're definitely in a minority today. Most folks, what Benjamin Franklin called the ignorant herd of mankind. He said, shame on this age we live in. Mind a bird, friend. Hey, shh. He said, shame to this age we live in for not recognizing astrology, for making fun of it. He blamed it on Whiston and Newton and Haley, and said that the ignorant herd of mankind would never have thrown out our sacred dictates if it weren't for these so-called scientists gifted with urania that threw out our sacred dictates. Ben was not happy. The older I get, the more I am like Ben Franklin. And I'm amazed that the world marches on and ignores what we have to say. Us astrologers. Aren't many of us left. Ben had that feeling too. I've been feeling quite alone lately. I want to thank you guys. A few times a week somebody calls me up and just says, thanks for the show. Boy, that makes my day, makes my week. Because I'm pretty much all alone. I do the show by myself. It's less people involved, less interruptions. And lately Saturn's been going through my 6th house of health, and I'm just finishing up a bug. I still can't breathe really well. 2 of them now. The last one I ran a fever. It was nasty. This one appears to be a common cold, but upshot is when I go down for some reason, nobody steps in. And this has been happening to me at a time that's important for you. All of my predictions about possible hurricanes, I need to add a little bit. Yes, there's going to be some hurricanes, some tropical storms, and you should be ready. This season is not like last year or the year before. I'll show you more as we go along. I left out one October 4th lunation that I just didn't see. I was coughing and not getting sleep, and people make mistakes. I made some mistakes, and maybe I should have been shouting hurricane, hurricane, and it would prod folks more to a little self-protective action. That's what's needed. I found out I have some lamps around here that burn oil. Get some light from oil lamps is kind of nice. Anyway, more on that later. For now, I just want to remind you how special you are, and that you're not alone. You're living in an age, shame on this age, of ignorant herds of mankind running after corporations and churches and pretty much blind to what's going on around them. Witness global warming and their reaction to that, and especially in the United States. It's a very difficult place to live for an enlightened person. I want to remind you that the humankind has used astrology for a long time. Let's go back. Well, you know about the 3 wise men. Okay, there's a Judeo-Christian thing. Go back to the Chinese. For thousands of years, when Marco Polo met Kublai Khan, he had 5,000 astrologers working for him. That's how I do the astrocartography. There was a 1-mile square city in the middle of the capital of China. All they did was raise up little boys and girls to be astrologers. That's all. China ran on astrology until the Western world caught up. I would remind you the Greeks and the Romans were totally into astrology. Their world ran by it. The Mayans, wow, you were born on a certain day, that day was your name. They had the most wonderful, invented, original astrology. Worked very well. So, Chinese, Mayan, the Egyptians, wow, the pyramids are Orion's belt. Their astrology is so deep we don't understand it. Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, Mayans, Chinese, you got the idea? Shame to the age we live in. Well, it's got to change. We're now in the Aquarian age. And the ignorant herd has to stop and change direction here. You are the guys that are turning the herd. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for opening your minds to the possibility of a different way of thinking. A way that agrees more with the Greeks and the Romans and the Chinese and the Mayans. Okay. Come on, we're going to do the sky mirror, and then I want to go over some of this hurricane stuff with you briefly. Hey, let's find out what's happening now. What's going on in this last week of August 2013, in the shameful year of 2013, at the beginning of the Aquarian age? What's going to happen for the next week? And just a reminder, when you see this, here's the sky mirror astrology. You can find out what's happening right now. Yeah, just go to the App Store, get Sky Mirror Astrology. Sky Mirror Astrology. Come on, you. Come on, my finger doesn't work too good on these. There we go. Sky Mirror app. And you got the chart of now. And look inside, look outside, look at the chart at your fingertips, huh? In your location. Very accurate. This thing is a real winner. A real winner. And it does a lot of things for you. It's not about personal charts. It's about the chart of now. You know, it's about the chart of now. So, if you've got an iPhone or an iPad, get it. Now, let's take a look at the sky mirror. By the way, I think he's working on a deal where this section of the sky mirror, the section of the astrology show, you'll be able to get on the app. You can just punch it and get the local sky mirror for that week. Here's our chart. Look at this. There's what we call a grand cross. See this? Here's Uranus. Now, what's happening is Venus is working herself up all last week, and she's hitting 8 degrees where you're at now. And tomorrow, she's going to square Pluto, and then go on to oppose Uranus and square Jupiter. And so she could be in trouble. Your daughter, yes. So we still got a lot of action here, a lot of tension. A grand cross produces a lot of tension. Here's Pluto fighting with Jupiter. Here's Venus fighting with Uranus. Oh, it's difficult. The interesting thing is we also have a grand trine, Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter. And gee, I didn't draw that one in there. The Jupiter thing, I didn't have a lot of faith in it. And then I saw on CNN, Dr. Sanjay Gupta came out and said, we've all been misled about marijuana. He looked into the studies. It should not be classified as a class 1. He says the whole thing is a disaster, and it really helps people. And the truth comes out about Neptune all of a sudden, huh? Yeah. So there is something to the grand trine. There is some information coming out that's helpful. My question is, he's right, of course. And who is it that he used the word misled? We've been misled about marijuana. Who did that? That's my question. Who did that? Let's go back there and nail the evil people who did that and filled our jails with innocent hippies and some of the most talented people of our society. Anyway, enough. It's an interesting pattern. The sun is going from 1 to 10 degrees of Virgo. So a lot of the action is going to happen towards the end of next week. The sun's opposing Neptune. Yes, opposing Neptune. So CNN had another guy on, some doctor who ran a treatment facility, who said, oh no, here the sun's opposing Neptune. It's a gateway drug. Remember that old stuff? So there's still people out there that want to keep this silliness going, this tragedy of American culture and world culture. But we'll see what happens. Interesting times we live in. We want to find out what's going on day by day. So we got the pattern here of planets. We're just going to run the moon around the edge. And that tells us the mood of the times. It's not your chart now. This is the generic chart, okay? And you'll see, here's Thursday, Wednesday. Back on Tuesday, the moon went, never mind. I'm interested in this Neptune thing. I've been involved in doctoring and health. I got a master's in public health. And so to see the massive, confused medical system in the U.S. try to turn around on pot, to me is highly entertaining and important. Anyway, here you are on Thursday. Well, the middle of the day, the moon goes into Aries, and everything starts getting jittery, because here's Uranus, and your Friday is not going to be normal. No, it starts with a panicky feeling in the middle of the day, and then we feel like giving up, and we're concerned for Venus. As it goes by Uranus, we all feel a little bit alone. Squares Jupiter, huh? Call a friend. So this is your day for the jitters, and day for quakes and tornadoes, and dare I say it, hurricanes. Now it's a little bit early yet, but I got a lot more to say about that. The trouble is, if you say the word hurricane, everybody freaks out. If you say the word tropical storm, it may be only 5 miles an hour difference in the wind speed, but a tropical storm, that ain't not so bad, huh? But a hurricane, oh boy! Anyway, there's exaggeration here, and a feeling of aloneness, and problems with electrical things and stuff that goes like that. And you'll see it on Friday. It'll continue a bit through Saturday, August 24th, and by the nighttime here about 10-11 o'clock or so, there's a square to Mars, and we're all a little ticked off and irritated, overprotective, angry. Ask yourself what you're protecting Saturday night. On